Good afternoon. I'm Sock Marionette, doing business as Bargain Counter Argument. I'm a middle-aged lady in a tiara hosting a live stream, and with me today is we have a couple of lovely people. We have Elisa the Lost Coffee Mug.
Hi.
What's up?
Well, I've been found because obviously I'm here.
Yeah, you're here, but where's the coffee mug?
Hold on.
We need to know.
Right here.
Ooh, nice. So, how are you doing? Usually you're in the comments, but today you're on screen because you're having the day off.
I am off of work. I'm still bandaged up. It's going well. I mean, it doesn't hurt. All I'm taking is Tylenol, and then at night I do take a pain med because I want to sleep through the night. But it's not too bad. I can't wait to get this off though, because this is just annoying me at this point.
Well, I thought that this would be a lovely chance, since you're not working, to give you a chance to have a conversation without having to type.
Much appreciated.
And if you have to flip me off or whatever, you still have the other hand.
I would never do that.
Stick around. Okay. How about you, Sarah? How are you doing today?
I'm good. It's a little noisy right here in the hallway, so I'm just going to go back on mute for a little while.
Okay. She has the cleaners in. They're vacuuming the hallway. It's totally worth it. I went to the dentist this morning.
How'd that go?
It went very well. I've been more diligent about flossing, and it has paid dividends big time. Jax, my dental hygienist, or hygienist if you prefer, she was like, yeah, there's improvement. And, at my age, it's like a holding action is good. Like, things not getting worse is good. And improvement, wow. And she's like, it's your best cleaning yet. And she says, get on your soapbox and tell everybody about the virtues of flossing. And I'm like, I will put on my tiara and tell everyone the virtues of flossing. I'm also in the middle of Christmas in March because it is the 25th of the month. So I have been reading Fairy Tale Christmas with the Millionaire, which is a Harlequin romance from 2020 by Jennifer Fay. And I've read about a third of it, but this is not what I'm going to be reading during the sprints today. So let's take a look at some comments. Elle is here. Elle's Book Nook. She's reading The Pastor's Hope by Megan Whistler, a love-inspired romance. I think, weren't you also reading Her Colorado Firefighter by Eliza D. Collins? I think I saw that in Roxy's stream, because I really wasn't there for Roxy's stream because I've been so tired, but that's another story. I read the arc of that through NetGalley. That was the first time I've read a Harlequin heartwarming, since Sarah said, oh, it's wholesome but not religious, or not explicitly religious the way like love-inspired or love-inspired suspense would be. So I read it. I enjoyed it. I had a good time with it, and I plan to read more Harlequin heartwarming. So I hope you're also enjoying it. And I hope you're enjoying The Pastor's Hope. He's hoping some parishioners actually show up for a change. And he's like, you want to kick some money in for the roof fund? You could do that. He's hoping for a new roof and decent attendance. And else is also new videos on the channel, including a review of Betty R. Baker by Ellie Alexander. Ooh, yay. Gonna have to make sure I check that out. I'm pretty sure I'm subscribed to you, but I will look into that. And so thank you for joining us. And if you're watching it back later in general, thank you for joining us displaced in time. Anita says, I hope you get better soon. To you, Lisa.
Thank you.
I guess it all went well, and the recovery is proceeding.
It went very well. I mean, surgery literally only took like 20 minutes. The longest part was pre and post op, and the person who was driving me home had, some laughs from me coming out of post op, because I'm like, I can't feel my arm, and I'm swinging it around.
Remember David Goes to the Dentist, where the kid had gone to the dentist, and he had some kind of like maximum problem with his teeth, and they gave him some fairly heavy sedation. And he's in the car. He's like 4 years old. He's going, is this real life? And his dad's like, yeah, it is. And he's like, I thought it was a dream. So yeah, he's all grown up now, and he's done an AMA about being like a 4-year-old meme. Stacy's here. Hello, everyone. She says, "Hi, Stacy. 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 Stay." Stacy's name just kind of lends itself to that kind of chanting. Anita, Anita. Well, you can do that with anybody's name. Hi, everyone. Today I am reading Icing on the Murder by Valerie Burns. Yes, says Elle. She was reading her Colorado firefighter. Maybe she still is. I don't know. Hi, Lisa and Sarah, says Carmen. Hi, Carmen. Finishing Outlaw Mountain, and then we'll find the next read. Outlaw Mountain, that's a J.A. Jance, and it's like everybody's reading that. That's like the J.A. Jance reading club extravaganza.
The Jance gang, as they call themselves.
The Jance gang. And Anita says she forgot your name, Lisa. So earlier when she was like, she just used your handle. So. And Stacy is reading Brutal Vows by J.T. Geisinger. I DNF'd that one. I think it's the 4th in the Queens and Monsters. I DNF'd it because it seemed like they really, really hated each other, but I'm going to give it another shot. So I think I was just in a bad mood or something, and I didn't want to read other people being in a bad mood. And Elle says, search Danielle Dodson. Oh, okay. Yes, I am subscribed to you. Yes, Danielle Dodson. Great. Thank you for the reminder. Yeah, I saw that you had posted this morning, but I haven't had a chance to watch, or recently anyway, I haven't had a chance to watch any videos because I've been going to the dentist and whatnot. Barkity! Wyoming's here with Silly, the dog. Barkity, barkity, barkity. Bark, bark. I don't have a dog handy, but I do have a moose. I think the moose has been on the show lately. He's the one that you can put him in the microwave, but we won't do that to him. He took one look at the inside of our microwave and said, "No, I know how." And I said, "What if I clean it?" And he's like, "No, still not into it." And Stacy says, "I will absolutely accept the chanting." Stacy, Stacy. Okay, so let's see. So I started this. I've read about a third of it. I'm enjoying it. And I've also been reading Free Falling by Jill Shalvis. I read my first Jill Shalvis book just a few weeks ago. It was called He Falls First. And this is part of the, I think it's called the Starlight Fall series. Yeah, it doesn't say. She fails branding. I really liked the other book I read by him, He Falls First. This is about their siblings. So you've got 3 brothers and a sister. And their dad was a bad dad. He was just like he was this military guy, and he was just kind of like, it's not really clear if he was emotionally and somewhat physically abusive because he was raised that way. And, he's a military dude from a military family. So maybe he was mean to his kids because that's what he knows. Anyway, then he had a series of strokes, and he has like dementia or something from the strokes. He's had a total personality change. And now everybody who meets him thinks he's a real sweetheart because he can't really talk. He can sort of verbalize a little bit. And he is a nice guy now, but and he's very dependent on others to help him get dressed and stuff like that and eat and everything. And it's kind of really mind-bending for these brothers and their sister to have this dad who's completely dependent on them and who has had like a major personality transplant. So so this is, like I said, book 2. I'm enjoying that. And also one more thing that I have on the go at the moment, Caught Up by Nevessa Allen. This is a buddy read with Aina of Aina's Book Nook, so we're having a good time with that. We've just finished this is the second book in the Into Darkness series. We read the first book, which is called Lights Out. We read that. We just finished it a few days ago. We started this one, and by the time we're finished with this, the third book will have come out because it's coming out on Tuesday. We should finish it just about then. So that's what I'm reading.
I was just going to say, I'm super excited that you're just starting Jill Shalvis because you have such a backlist of her.
I know. I've
been reading her for like 15 years, and some of her old stuff is some of my favorite. She has great humor in some of her older books.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been really enjoying it. And this one has small town goodness. So that's what I've been doing. Now, as you know, The first sprint is only 10 minutes long. It is the 10 minutes of yuck TM. Thank you, Nicole, friend of the channel. She named it. That's 10 minutes to do something you don't want to do, whether it's scrubbing the tub or answering phone calls, reconciling your checking account. Like, does it have the amount of money you expect it to have? Does it not? I don't know. I don't know if people even need to reconcile their checking accounts anymore because I don't know. I'm always checking mine for one thing or another. I'm always in my bank account. So it's a relic of the old days when we did everything writing and so on. And Elle says, yes, I am. She's still reading her Colorado Firefighter. Well, I had a good time with that. And so 10 minutes of yuck. I am not going to be doing anything yucky today because I went to the dentist. And I am going to just coast on that for the next 3 or 4 days. Although I actually did do earlier, I did some vacuuming. So, but I'm not, I'm just going to hang out. And I have a big stack of category romances, and I'm going to do something fun with them when we come back. So enjoy your 10 minutes of yuck, everybody. We're going until 21 minutes past the hour. And let's see, this is my usual struggle with the banner. Sprinting until 21 minutes. Okay. I did it. Okay, see you in 10. We're back. I did some stuff that's not exactly yuck because I enjoy doing it. I downloaded the clip I recorded just before we started for my Christmas in March vlog. I downloaded that, converted it for editing, and made a couple of initial cuts. And so that's what I did.
Yay.
Lisa?
I started going through, I had some books I needed to put in LibLib because I'm trying to be organized with my physical copies. Mm-hmm. And then my sister got me, she has been going thrifting and been finding like a bunch of like cozy mysteries.
Oh,
so
nice.
I have a bunch of the Cupcake Bakery mystery ones. And she found them for like $1, but I have some already. So I'm, seeing which copy is better. And I'm going to sell the one copy I don't want. So that's what I started to do.
Very good.
Sarah?
I fought with Missy because I was trying to do something on the computer, updating some book stuff, like getting my TBR organized for April. And that's when she decided to sit in my lap and walk everywhere.
She probably needs some extra attention because she's probably freaked out by all the strange people in the house.
Are you kidding me? Her and Presley have just been sleeping on the bed the whole time. They were literally outside the door. They're just, yep. But the ladies are now gone. They're very nice ladies who come in every other week to clean. They just do my bathroom, or mine and Garrett's bathroom, my mom's bathroom, her bedroom. They vacuum the hall and they do the kitchen. Just the areas that we can't. It's hard, especially for mom, to get down and do that cleaning and stuff, right? So it's worth the money. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. And let's see. Stacy says, I didn't know another Nevessa Allen was coming out. I learned something new today. Yes, Game On, the third book in this series. And it is coming out. It's due to come out next Tuesday on the 31st. Oh, by the way, speaking of Ana, because she's the person I'm buddy reading with this, she let me know today that until the 27th, it is buy two, get one free at Target for books. It's like their Circle deals or something. You sign up for Circle membership, which apparently is free, and Circle members can get deep discounts on books and a certain. So just thought I'd pass that information along.
Absolutely.
I think it applies to books you buy online. I don't know that it's in store. And Anita, you're just coming up with chants for everybody. And yeah, sooner or later, you are going to flip me off, Lisa. It's just going to happen. Because I'll come up with a chant for everybody except you. And then you'll be like, oh, what? Where is my chant? Lisa, Lisa, Lisa. Anyway, Anita read a chapter in 10 minutes. Nice. And Stormy says, hi, everyone. Not feeling great. Laying in bed, finishing up Outlaw Mountain by J.A. Jance. Yes.
Feel better, Stormy.
Yeah. I know Wednesdays are kind of a lot. And Carmen did some laundry. Nice. Okay, so that was 10 minutes of yak. And now it is time to partay.
Yay.
Nothing says party like a middle-aged lady in a tiara and her buddies.
Talking about books.
Yeah.
What was that?
I said talking about books.
Anita says, feel better, Storm. Stormy. I have a giant stack of books here. And what I thought, I'm not going to try to read a category romance today during the sprints because I'm tired after my adventures this morning. And I'm also in the middle of that other book. So I don't want to get too confused. So I have these Candlelight Ecstasy romances. And I thought what I would do is I would, go through some of them. And then during the sprints, I would read exactly one chapter of each. The first chapter even.
Ooh.
And see if there was something that was worth pursuing or just automatic sails across the room while Stormy and Sarah cringe and everybody else giggles. I have A Strange Elation by Prudence Martin. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of prudence in this book. Carmen's saying, sorry, you're feeling cruddy, Stormy. Yeah, that sucks, but Hopefully it will pass. Oh no, I already know I don't want to read this. It's Gambler's Love by Amy Lauren. And I had like 2 books by her that I read but wished I hadn't. The best you can hope for is some loving descriptions of wrists. I'm a T-Rex, what are you? Okay.
Yeah.
Jane Castle, also known as Amanda Quick, also known as Jane Ann Krantz. A negotiated surrender. I think that means she surrenders and he gets everything he wants. Because it's Jane Castle in the early 1980s.
Yep.
Stormy says, thanks. I think it is my allergies acting.
Ooh.
That's
It's not one thing, it's something else.
This is very cool. This is A Love Beyond Reason by Rachel Ryan. And check him out. He's wearing old school jogging shorts.
Oh.
Look at that. Look at that. Guys used to play basketball in that.
Yep.
I know. Here's one. This is probably going to be going halfway across the country at some point because it is Summer Storms.
Ooh, it's got her name in it.
Yes, it has her name in it.
Right?
And it is by Stephanie Sinclair. And we have some kind of sailing thing. But I'm guessing it's going to be a problem when there's a storm at sea. There's a storm out on the ocean. Okay, anyway, sorry, Nancy Griffith. Me, when she tosses a book. Like, don't send me your...
You and me both, Stormy.
I send her the book and it's got my floor dust all over it. Go online, Storm, and buy some books. It will make you feel better, says Wyoming. Yes, Wyoming knows what's what. She knows how to fix things. It's Emily Lost in the Library. Hey, all. She says, hey, Emily. Did you finish Anne of Ingleside? I haven't even started yet. I liked it. She's doing a buddy read along, her and Megan of Megan's Book Nook of the Anne of Green Gables books. And this month it's Anne of Ingleside. And I think we're going to be talking about it on Monday. And I always like to read them closer to the discussion date. But she's co-hosting, so she's got to like do it a little more thingamajiggy. Silly, says Emily. If only my doctor would prescribe me that. Yes, because then your insurance would pay for it.
Right.
I did finish, says Emily, last night. I like how you think, Silly, says Stormy, also known as Wyoming. Stormy. Yeah, Silly, not Stormy.
Just to mention, I looked up Stephanie St. Clair because I wanted to say, I'm like, is that a pseudonym for somebody else? And I looked her up. She was a crime boss at the turn of the century or at the beginning of the millennium or whatever.
A crime boss?
A crime boss. She was a woman of color and she was a crime boss. Stephanie St. Clair. Not that Stephanie St. Clair. I'm saying somebody with the name Stephanie St. Clair happened to be a crime boss.
No, I think that would be cool if we found out like somebody who... Well, I mean, this isn't a mafia romance, but wouldn't it be cool to find out somebody
while she was in jail, she penned Candlelight Ecstasy romances.
As you do. It was a rehabilitation program. You know how you have people
like this
who go...
has dark romance written all over it, does it not?
Oh, yes. Like, you know how you have like creative writing teachers who go into prisons and like help the prisoners like learn to write, to express their emotions or their memoirs or whatever, or even just to write letters. Anyway, and one of them decides she's going to write romances.
That's what I'm saying. We've penned a whole, because I can't find anything on this author at all. We just figured out her whole backstory.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Jill is here. Hi, everyone. She says, today is my day off, so I did my grocery shopping. We're having a nice day here in Central Connecticut, and I hope, you know, she and I frequently have the same weather, although when it's extreme, like storms or whatever, she gets it worse. Is everything okay? Was that a sound of distress?
That's not...
Oh, that was my sister sneezing.
Oh, okay.
Oh my goodness.
She has a full-throated sneeze, as do I, so I understand. Jill says, I got halfway done with Sense and Suitability. Nice. The ant is cracking me up. Pepper Basham is pretty funny.
Mm.
So, yeah. I mean, I say that based on my vast experience with Pepper Basham, having read one book by her. It was a good one. Okay, we also have Deceptive Love by Anne N. Reiser. I think I read something by Anne N. Reiser before. The Captive Love. I don't know if I read that or if that was when I decided not to read in favor of some other piece of nonsense.
Mm.
It's beautiful here in the high 40s, says Jill. Yeah, that's pretty much our experience of life as well. It's nice cold when I went to the dentist. Ooh, another Jane Castle. Spellbound. I don't know. Is it an adaptation of the Hitchcock movie? That would be cool, but I don't think it is. Another Jane Castle. Wow. She was making some. They didn't pay particularly well, these candlelight ecstasy romances, but if you make it up in volume, you're fine. Affair of Risk. Ooh.
Ooh.
Uh-huh. You know what they say, there's no such thing as safe sex, just safer sex. Call It Love by Ginger Chambers. Call It Love. I call it Going Braless. Respect. And A Loving Arrangement by Diana Blaine. Ooh, pretty. Horsies.
Oh, that's nice.
We got horsies. Those are horsies. So that's what I'm looking at. It's excuse me. Is there anybody wants to hear about first? Rachel Ryan is also Sandra Brown. I did not know that.
Then let's go with the Rachel Ryan book.
Okay, sounds good to me. Rachel Ryan. Oh, she even has her copyright notice as Rachel Ryan. Some of them don't bother. You know, they just have it copyright whatever their real name is.
Right.
But she actually went the extra mile. Thank you for letting us know, Gwen. So Love Beyond Reason, he's the one with the tiny little old school basketball shorts, running shorts.
Nice.
The very sight of him made her weak with desire. This brother-in-law she barely knew. I like how it's in quotes, like brother-in-law, so-called. I want a DNA test. What cruel fate drove her into his arms and tempted her to yield to his outrageous demands? You are not getting Cool Whip for your pancakes. No. Jason Manning's arrogance knew no bounds. Of course it did. It's the early 80s, and he's the hero of a category romance. First, he expected her to give him their orphaned niece at the child she vowed to raise alone. Oh, it's a custody battle. Now he demanded that she marry him or lose the child in court. How could she trust another Manning? Yet how could she resist him? Catherine hated him with a burning passion, yet her treacherous heart kept whispering, yes. I'm not sure that I want to read the first chapter of this because I think the mood I'm in right now, I'm probably not going to be able to give it a fair shake. So, provisional.
If anyone is interested in it, it is currently available on Amazon under the author Sandra Brown.
Cool beans.
You have to pay for it, but it's there if you're interested. I know. We don't pay for books here.
Well, not for that kind of book. Not for a book we're probably not going to like. Anyway, like I said, I might not read it because I might not even read the first chapter because I want to give it a fair shot, and that whole synopsis is like, this is not something I'm currently in the mood for. Yep. I've already got a dark romance going on. Okay. A Loving Arrangement by Diana Blaine. This is the one with the horsies.
Yay.
Horsies. That's the scientific name.
Horsies. And you have to name when you pass them when you're driving by.
Yes, absolutely. It's Equus horsies. That's the subspecies. The genus is Equus. The subspecies is horsies. Okay. There was no use pretending. Oh, come on. This is a category romance. The whole reason, the whole raison d'etre, the whole thing is about pretending. There was no use pretending. His eagle eye had penetrated her disguise. Abby pulled the pins. Her platinum hair cascaded down her shoulders. Ooh. She no longer blended with the woodwork, the perfect executive secretary to the irascible trial lawyer and the ladies' man. Ooh. You know whose attorney he is? Stephanie St. James.
There we go, yeah.
St. James or St. Clair?
St. Clair.
Yes. So that's her rival for his affections. Oh, his name is Grayson McCallum. But she was still a fugitive from the man who had betrayed her, the man who would arrive in Atlanta within hours. Yeah, he probably got a direct flight, too. Her only alternative was to flee again or accept McCallum's outrageous offer. Oh, is he doing some unethical, like, lawyer stuff involving trading favors for, yes, anyway. She would pose as his live-in lover. Wow, it's not even a fake engagement. It's just like a fake side piece. He had offered his protection and forced her to see him in a dangerous new light. Halogen's not that bad for your eyes. Was she merely exchanging one risky masquerade for another? A loving arrangement. I will definitely give that one a shot. So, seems like a good thing to read while recovering from dental work. I mean, it was just cleaning. I don't know why I'm making a big deal out of it, except I went to the dentist. Call It Love by Ginger Chambers. Now she's the one in the short shorts. First, he appeared out of nowhere to rescue her from a liar and a bully. I wonder if he's the brother-in-law from this book or the guy who got the direct flight to Atlanta in this book. Then he treated her as if she were the kind of woman who provoked every man she saw and invited attack. Oh, he's one of those. Joanna was beside herself, and there was no escape. There he was, just down the beach, her new neighbor, jealously curious about every move she made, as possessively protect. I don't like this guy already. I'm not even getting through this.
Stormy, cover your eyes.
Slid under the door and out into the hallway again.
That was sooner than I thought it would happen.
Right?
Frankly, I don't know that it was soon enough. Oh, but back to Jane Castle. Let's see, see, this one says copyright Jane Krentz. So she just went ahead and used her regular name. Affair of Risk. We've got the nice, like, this is one of those dresses that you get from like Temu or whatever that you can like arrange in several different ways.
75 different ways, yeah.
76 if you count it being on the floor of the guy's hotel room.
Would you really call that arranging, though? That's just more of a draping situation.
Draping, arranging, tomato. Stormy. Oh, Stormy's like, he thinks she invited whatever it was that happened to her. He rescues her from it like a white knight, and then he's like, oh, well, it was all your fault in the first place. So nuts to him. Jill says, LOL, there goes the book. That's so funny. And Stormy's like, don't encourage her.
Right?
Don't do it. Wyoming's like, good throw. Yes, I've been in spring training. I went to Port St. Lucie for January for spring training, and now because that's how I pitch a baseball.
Won't get you far.
Oh, it'll get me plenty far. Affair of Risk. A strange flash of elemental recognition arced between them. Say, I saw that dress on Temu. I saw you on Temu. The shock was staggering. Kendra Loring gasped as she met the full force of Case Garrett's night dark gaze. Yet they had never met. Ooh. And once she'd finished her business... yes. Okay. Don't forget to flush and wash your hands. She promised herself they would never meet again. Danger and darkness lurked just beneath the glittering surface of the elegant Lake Tahoe casino. I've been to casinos in Lake Tahoe. I don't know that elegant is really the word I would use. Buffet was good, though. Buffet was pretty good. Kendra had sworn that no man would ever take advantage of her again. If she let herself go... I was just thinking let herself go in the sense of just like not bathing, right. As opposed to letting herself go like being uninhibited.
Yes.
If she let herself go, if she fell under his mesmerizing spell for just 1 minute, the stakes would be impossibly high and she would be gambling far more than she could afford to lose. That's a lot of metaphors, but I don't know what the premise is.
Right.
This is like a one-night stand or...
Well, I don't know, but every time you say the word risk, I hear wrist, and I'm like, it's...
He put his hands at 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock on the steering wheel, and she was good to go. Spellbound! Spellbound by, oh, so yes, that one I'll give that one a shot. Spellbound, also by Jane Castle. We're on the name brand authors, aren't we? Because so far I'm going to read this other book, or the first chapter of this book by Jane Castle, and this one by Sandra Brown, doing business as Rachel Ryan. For anybody who's watching this now or later, I keep seeing Rachel Ryan and thinking Rachel Riley, and I'm like, she's going to do some math problems, isn't she? Oh, so other people do watch Countdown in the United States and Canada. I'm so proud, says Gwen. I actually remember that was about gambling. If his wrists, it's going to be not when he's got his hands at 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. It's going to be when he shoots craps. It's going to be like, ooh, ha ha. Double natural. Ha ha. Okay. Who would have thought there was so much soft excitement under that sophisticated veneer, he whispered. What other secrets are you hiding, sweet witch? Calls her sweet witch, or switch for short. Secrets. The word clicked in Lacey Holbrook's mind, and reason flooded back. Yes, she had secrets. Why else had she conjured Jed Merlin back from the all but forgotten past? Why else had she insisted on turning the bohemian maverick into an urbane gentleman? He was essential to her plans, yet she had secrets. Yes, she had secrets. Dangerous secrets. And she must not forget their urgency just because he had walked back into her life, bewitched her with kisses, and touched her with a magic she was almost powerless to resist. That dude used to be a hippie. Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, I'll give that one a shot. Deceptive Love by Anne N. Reiser. I'm trying to remember. I think it was Captive Love, and like I said, I don't remember. Oh, I think I wasn't going to read that one. There was another one by her that I read, and it was kind of dodgy. There's The Face of Love. I don't know. We'll see what this is about. She's on thin ice with me. Not like Amy Lauren, who's just on no ice with me. Deceptive Love by Anne N. Reiser. This is what that looks like. It looks like we have a little bit of a cityscape background. At first I thought those were like rock formations in Arizona, but I think they're actually skyscrapers. Yes. I know all about the built environment. She was a fantastic secretary. Woo-hoo. But what made men think her willingness to share their work meant a willingness to share their beds? Because they all just teleported in from the early 1900s when there was a lot of anxiety around women in the workplace. And like, especially, yeah, anyway. More than once, Carrie's mischievous green eyes, auburn hair, and sensuous body had cost her a perfectly good job. More than once, she sued. But now she was safe. She looked every inch the efficient prig encased in an ice-cold shell. That's really not going to stop them. It doesn't work. Until Dane Randolph. Dane Randolph. Woo. Dane Randolph. Ooh, he spells it with an I, too. It's not Dane Dane. It's not Dane, D-A-N-E. It's D-A-I-N. He puts the I in Dane. Pirated her away from her cozy niche and dragged her into the executive suite. Just one look told her that Dane meant danger. Just one touch. Danger. Just one touch of his warm, powerful hands, which are attached to
wrists, ladies,
leading up to the forearms. Ooh, forearms. That's advanced stuff.
Roll up the sleeves.
Oh yes, he's gonna roll up his sleeves and then he's gonna like change a light bulb. You know, like that Sabrina Carpenter song. Tears run down my face. Okay. Danger. Just one touch of his warm, powerful hands could penetrate her flimsy disguise, melt her icy resolve and her obstinate heart. So defrosting the Ice Queen. I'll give it a shot. Mm-hmm. And I think there's still 4 to go. So I think maybe we could do a sprint now and I can get started on these. And so how about a half an hour, which takes us to 3:15, 3:15 where I am, 2:15, I think. No, yeah. Never mind. Why am I trying to do this? It'll all end in tears. Okay. I need to. Okay. We'll see you in a half an hour. Mm-hmm. And we're back. How'd you get along, Lisa?
I finished my project of figuring out what books I already had and putting them away. And then I read about a chapter of this cozy mystery reading, Glazed Murder by Jessica Beck.
Is that part of that same cupcake series?
No, this is a different series. I probably will not continue this series. I'm not really. This is a donut shop mystery series.
Oh, I see.
I'm not really. I mean, it's okay for a cozy mystery. It's probably like a 3-star. I really just want to finish it to figure out who did it. But yeah, so I want to finish that today. My goal is to catch up on some reading this week. So
okay, Sarah.
I took my husband to the Tim Hortons to get a tea, and I came back and I read a little bit of Cutie Pies and Deadly Lies by Addison Moore. So yeah.
Okay, was there a murder at the donut shop while you were there?
No, unfortunately.
The closest thing to a crime was somebody took an extra creamer.
Basically.
And it was Garrett. Roxy stopped by to say, hey, Socks, Lisa, and Sarah. Hello, friends in the chat. I am popping on to hit the like button. Thank you. I'll leave this on in the background so you can get your watch hours, Sock. Thank you so much. I do get paid by the minute.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get paid. And Stormy finished her book. Hooray, hooray, hooray.
yay!
Hooray. And Carmen finished Outlaw Mountain as well, I think, because that's what Stormy was reading, I believe. So, yay. And Carmen is like, she's laughing. And Anita is at 54%. Okay. Well, this is
how did you get on?
How did I get on? I had, 5 books to read the first chapter of?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, yes. Anita says, congratulations to Storm and Carmen. Indeed. They not only finished a book, they finished the same book. I feel like I'm somehow responsible.
Right?
You know, I'm like, yes, it was my sprint sweat did it. No, they didn't. Okay, so I actually got to 3. The first 2 chapters of A Loving Arrangement, was this the one? A Loving Arrangement and Love Beyond Reason. These were like 20, 21 pages long.
Okay.
You know, this one went to like 30 pages. Yeah, this went to 32 pages. So it was quite a bit longer chapter than the other 2 had. So Jill read 27 pages of Amanda Flower Assaulted Caramel and loving it. Mm-hmm. Nice. Okay, so I started with Love Beyond Reason. And oh my gosh. So much stuff happened in the first, how many pages was that chapter? 21 pages, which is like slightly over 10% of the book because it's 188 pages. And so much happened, and she hasn't even met the dude yet.
Wow.
Okay, this is the one about the apparent custody battle with her
Yes.
so-called brother-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we start off. It starts off super boring with a line of dialogue. The Denver City Council voted today to increase taxes by 6% for the coming fiscal year. Councilman argued that, and then she's listening to the radio. And then there's a report about a crime, and she's thinking, high taxes and crime. And I'm like, it's 1981. You may have just voted for Ronald Reagan, but his policies have not had a chance to go into effect. Also, this is a local tax. So, anywho. So it's like, okay, this is off to a fairly boring start. She's just listening to local news and like she's putting on some lotion and whatnot. And then she gets a call. Or actually, she's listening to the news and she hears that a local businessman has been killed in a car crash along with an unidentified woman.
Mm.
And she's like, oh my God, that is my brother-in-law. And I mean, he's married to her sister who is 7 months pregnant.
Mm.
And the marriage is very unhappy because he's abusive. And he's very rich, but also abusive with it. And the sister is pregnant because he SA'd his own wife and didn't even give her a chance to enact some kind of birth control. So we're glad he's dead. We're very, very glad he's dead. Mm-hmm. And as soon as they live with her sister's in-laws, like they live with his parents. And as soon as he's in the car accident, her mother-in-law starts berating her. And when she finds out he was in the car with another woman, she starts berating her. It's like, oh, well, this wouldn't have happened if you'd been more of a wife to him. So, and later she goes on to be pretty racist. So she's also another piece of work. So the sister, who is 7 months pregnant, as I said, goes into labor. And like the housekeeper has to sneak her out of the house to get her to the hospital. So naturally she dies in childbirth after she's had a chance to write her final requests on a paper towel, because that was the only paper they could find. And it tells her sister, our female main character, under no circumstances is she to allow the father's family to be like basically anywhere near her daughter, because it's a daughter she had. And it's like, yes, no, she is very correct to make that. So she makes that her dying declaration. She dies, and she gets called in by the family attorney of the wealthy people. And he says, she's like, well, it was my sister's dying wish that I raise this child. She says, the mother felt it in her child's best interest that I rear her. And the lawyer says, I'm sure the father's wishes would have differed greatly. Besides, this discussion is academic. I'm sure no court would award guardianship of a child to a single working girl with indeterminate morals.
Welcome to 1981.
And she's like, oh, no, he didn't. So as soon as she gets the baby released, because I mean the baby was born premature, but she was healthy. She was 4 pounds. So like when she hits a certain weight, they let her take her out, and she immediately like puts her house up for sale. She had inherited from her parents. She puts the house up for sale, and she's like making arrangements to put the proceeds from the sale of the house into a trust for her niece. And she takes the baby and she moves to a small town in East Texas because she wants to get as far away from the family as possible. And so the chapter ends with the brother-in-law showing up on her doorstep. And the last line of the chapter is, I'm Jason Manning, which after that start about taxes are being raised to I'm Jason Manning, that is just like, not only was that page 21, how this book officially started on page 7. So that's just like 14 pages.
Wow.
And it's like, okay, I think I'm set with the premise of the plot, but like, I mean, my goodness, that is a lot. I am totally into it. I am here for it. However, after the kind of day I've had with all the dentist and whatnot, I don't know that this is going to be the next one that I read, because I'm stressed out on her behalf. Okay, so then I went into the one. This is A Loving Arrangement by Diana Blaine. This is the one where the guy got the direct flight to Atlanta from Charleston, as it turns out. And she works for a trial attorney, a defense attorney, I guess. It just says trial lawyer. Grayson McCallum. She's the secretary, and she's like really kind of tried to present herself very neutrally in terms of her appearance. Even though it says like explicitly that she was 26 but looked years younger, like apparently like looking 26 would mean she's an old hag.
I was gonna say, yeah,
but she looks younger, and he's 40, so awesome. In this first chapter, we find out that this guy who got the direct flight into Atlanta, she knew him before, and he was married to a rich lady, and they started, he wanted to have an affair with her. And he was like, oh yes, it's a loveless marriage and we're getting a divorce and everything. And she believed him. And then his wife, like just as they were about to like consummate their passion, his wife walks in and starts shrieking. And it's like, oh, he very much isn't intending to get a divorce. Oh, what do you know? And so she was working as a reporter. She quits her job, moves from Charleston to Atlanta, and starts off like being a secretary. So she's like, she wants to write a novel eventually, but she's like, I just need to just get away from everything and have a job that's not so stressful and just like reevaluate my life choices. Which valid. Anyway, so she ends up telling her boss this because this dude is going to show up in the office. And she's like, I'm going to resign because she does not want to deal with this dude. And her boss is like, no, I don't think so. He says, it'll take 3 weeks night and day to train a new secretary, and I can't spare the time. And apparently he's a very impatient boss, and he does things that, you know, wouldn't happen today. I mean, like, she, as his secretary, she's like constantly buying presents for his girlfriend and making girlfriends, more than one, and making sure they get flowers and stuff. And he's always like asking her to call like his no good brother and that, and like basically deal with his personal life. Also, he looks more like a pro wrestler than an attorney. And when I'm thinking of pro wrestlers of the 80s, I'm picturing like Andre the Giant or Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
Yeah. These are not, this is not exactly the height of sexiness. Anyway, and then we get to the point where he is like, he lights up a cigarette in the office because it's the early 80s. And I'm like, ooh, all this and he smokes?
Right.
Don't let that one out of your sight. Anyway, but when she explains the situation, he's not like, he doesn't get mad at her for like, he doesn't accuse her of having loose morals or anything. He's just like, okay, how can we make this work so that you don't feel like you have to resign and you don't have to deal with him and stuff like that. So, and he's like, don't quit your job. You want to write a novel and stuff. So, you know, don't quit your job. Let's try to work this out. So he's at least somewhat understanding. Okay, so that was a loving arrangement. So yes, I think this, okay, she's like, I can't stay, meaning she can't stay in the office. And he says, of course you can. All you have to do is move in with me. This is the one where she's going to pretend to be his live-in lover.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
The one where it was like, it's not even fake engagement. It's fake side piece. So, but you know, it's engagingly written. So I think I'll stick with it. And then the other one was Deceptive Love by Anne and Racer. This is the one where she is also a secretary who is downplaying her good looks because in the past she's worked in situations where guys like hit on her on the job and think that because she's their secretary they can like just like have an affair with her or whatever. And it all actually came to a head when she was working for this dude who was an older guy. He was married, happily married and everything, had kids. And she was like, everything was going well. He was paying her a lot of money. She's highly skilled. And she speaks many languages and stuff like that. She's also grew up in a military family. Her father's like a 2-star general. So she has a lot of experience dealing with international business and that kind of thing. Like she knows how to talk to people from different cultures, not just in their own language. Anyway, so she's highly skilled. So she was getting a lot of money. And her boss's son asked her out. She went out with him a couple of times. And then she was like, she did not see a future in this relationship. Unfortunately, he did, and he started stalking her and so on. So she ended up quitting the job and moving to a different city. And she got her godfather, who was pretty high-powered in the State Department, to give her a recommendation so she wouldn't have to ask the old boss for a recommendation and stuff. So she goes to great lengths to get away from this guy. And she's like trying to dress as dowdily as possible and so on. Well, he shows up, recognizes her, and like starts stalking her again. And because she says the thing was the conflict she also had with her boss was the son asked her to marry him, and she's like, no, I don't want to do that. And her boss was like, basically, you should be flattered that one of us wants to marry you. You know, she's like, yeah, I don't need this. So the guy shows up in her office, and then he finds out where she lives, shows up at her apartment, and he does the old, oh, just one drink. That's all I ask. And she's a total dumb cluck because she actually invites him in for the one drink. She actually is like, yes, you had your drink, now get out. And he does agree to leave, but he's like, but I'm not going to get out of your life. And she's like, not this again. Why? Meanwhile, the stalker is actually engaged to the Dane Randolph's sister, who is called Dane Randolph, who's been out of town this whole time, has called Dane and been like, this terrible woman is stealing my fiance away from me. And he's like, what? I've never even heard of this dude. She's like, we got engaged 2 weeks ago. And he's like, I last spoke to you. I saw you in person 4 months ago. We've talked on the phone, and I'm just now hearing about this dude. She's like, oh my God, she works for you, and you should do something about this. And he's like, fine, whatever, man. So that's where we have started. And the chapter ends with them about to meet for the first time.
Mm.
So that's as far as I got. And Roxy says, oh, Sarah, you were right. I did indeed trim my bangs before my hair appointment Saturday.
Oh, I wish I was a betting woman.
You were like, you're not going to last that long.
No.
You're just not. Roxy, if you are not working at the moment, would you like a link so you can join us on camera? Let me know.
And step away from the scissors, Roxy.
Yes. We will talk you off that ledge.
Right?
Although it sounds like she said she already did trim her bangs.
Yeah, the deed has been done.
We will talk you off of that. Anyway, so those are the 3 books I managed to start.
Cool.
And I don't know which one to prioritize.
The first one sounds the most interesting so far.
Okay,
I
this
agree.
is the Love Beyond Reason.
Yeah.
And that's the one where like 40 million things happened in the first 14
I was
pages.
saying, it's a Sandra Brown book. How can you go wrong?
Well,
Well, I mean, a lot can go wrong, but it's gonna.
there was
at least it's gonna be entertaining when it goes off the cliff.
This is true. There was, she wrote for Love Swept for a while.
Yep. She wrote for
And
Desire too.
there is a cover that she posed for. She posed for
Really?
her own cover. She was on, there was like an afternoon talk show with a guy called an actor who's no longer with us called McLean Stevenson. He was
Okay.
Colonel Blake. He was Colonel Blake on MASH.
Oh yes, okay, I know who you're talking about.
And he was Larry on the sitcom Hello Larry.
Yep.
Anyway, so he had an afternoon talk show syndicated called, I don't know, McLean Stevenson Goes Nuts. I don't know what it was called. But she was a guest on there, and they had her and they had a cover artist, and they were kind of talking about how romance novel covers come to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so McLean Stevenson and Sandra Brown posed for the cover of a Love Swept. And if you really, I can't remember which book it was. I don't know. I was going to say I'll figure it out before next week, but I'll totally forget to do that. Anyway, so if you look very carefully at the cover, you'll be like, oh, that is Sandra Brown, only she has like really long hair, because that was a trait of the female main character. It's a Love Swept cover. I seem to recall that it was blue and it had a full moon in the background.
The Rana
And
look.
Huh?
There it is.
Yeah, that's the one.
I Google searched it.
Thank you. So if you look, that is that dude. If you look very carefully, he's like a slightly aged down McLean Stevenson, and she is Sandra Brown.
Oh, for funsies. Who is this? Hold on. This is Nora Roberts on the cover of a romance of one of her own books.
Oh, nice. Is that her husband?
I do not know. It doesn't say. And Heather Graham, or Shannon Drake at the time, she posed for a cover as well. This is on the Romance Historian's Instagram.
Nice. Thank you. Also, I think there's one where Shannon Drake, her kids were on the cover. It was she and her husband and her kids. And it's one that I believe I own. So I can look for that during the next sprint.
Yes. That maybe, is that it? Because there's kids on it too, like on the other side. It's a step back.
Might be.
It doesn't say in the details below.
I think there's another one, though, that has more kids.
Yeah, no, her and her family.
Yeah, but I think there's another one that they also posed for.
Oh, maybe. That would be interesting.
I remember I made the joke when I was looking at the kids looked really bored, and I was like, no wonder they look bored. They're still waiting for Fallout 5 to come out. Right. So it was a Civil War kind of thing. That is so cool, says Stormy. Yeah. So thank you for looking that up and showing it to us.
Thank you for sharing that. That is fun. I'm gonna save that.
Oh, now you're in a rabbit hole.
Right?
Like Sandra Brown and McLean Stevenson, I'll see you that and raise you a Shannon Drake and her family. Her entire family. Okay, so those were the books I had a chance to start. And yes, they're all, I mean, they're all happening stuff. But two are by, was it Spellbound or no? Oh, yeah. Anna Reiser, Diana Blaine. Maybe Diana Blaine is somebody famous. And Rachel Ryan, Sandra Brown. So, yeah, those are the ones I have a chance to start. And next up, I'll try Spellbound and Affair of Risk. And in case I have time, Summer Storms by famed mobster Stephanie St. Clair.
Yeah.
This is what it is about. Was it the shock of the accident or the driver, or the driver himself who made her feel so faint, so vulnerable? It's the shock of the, this is like, what do they call it? Misattribution of arousal. It's like she feels faint because of the accident, but she assumes it's because of the guy. That's why you take your sweetie pie to horror movies. And this is literally the oldest trick in the book, because Ovid, the Roman philosopher and poet, in he wrote a book about romance, and he's like, take your girlfriend, take the lady you want to go out with or you be with, take her to the gladiatorial combat, because she will have her passions inflamed by the combat, and she will associate that with you. So that's an old trick. Okay, but mostly you don't get into car accidents to make it happen.
No.
Nicole Tanner. Nicole Tanner. I wonder if she's related to the Full House family.
Right.
Had nearly been hit by a speeding Mercedes. How could she have known that the rugged, slate-eyed man behind the wheel was none other than James Benton, infamous playboy, aircraft magnate, champion sailor, and her boss at the posh sailing school at Watch Point Yacht Club in a Massachusetts harbor town? My goodness. No one had ever been able to touch the iron-bound core of her passion until now, when this stranger dared to taste her lips before he even knew her name. We know his name, and it's Jimmy. Yeah, you may say you're James. We know you're Jimmy. So I will maybe... I do have these other two to read, though, first. So last time I got to 3, maybe this time I'll get to 3. So are we ready for another sprint? Half an hour?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm going to push that a little bit and put it 10 past. That'll give us like 33 minutes, but okay. Sprinting until 10 past. This time maybe I'll remember to put it on the screen. Yay me!
Well done.
Okay, see you in about a half an hour.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Sarah. Sarah, I don't think you're muted.
Sorry about that.
I fake coughed so much I actually started real coughing.
Oh my gosh. So, I read another chapter and a half. This book makes me very sleepy. I don't know what it is. Like, I'm reading it and I'm like, I need to stay awake.
Now, you did say you're only on Tylenol at this point.
Yes. Yes.
So we can't blame the meds. Okay. I was like starting to get very sleepy too, but you know. Sarah?
I finished reading, and I do apologize for not being. I thought I was on mute. I'm so sorry about that.
Well, it was just like there were these faint, like tapping noises, or
yeah, I was typing a little bit. I guess that's probably what it was.
Yeah, it wasn't loud or anything.
Yeah, I'm sure you would have let me know ahead of time.
I wanted to let you know before you started calling your doctor's office and giving your social insurance number and stuff.
I finished reading Claudia and the Bad Joke by Ann M. Martin, book 19 of the Babysitters Club series. And I got some more reading done on the Cutie Pies and Deadly Lies. How about you? Suck?
Well, first, let's see. Carmen said she's hopping off now. That was about 10 minutes or so ago. Thanks for the motivation, Sock and friends. We motivated her to do the laundry. Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. Anytime. And Jill said she read a chapter and a half in my Bible. Again, as I said last time she was reading from her Bible, a chapter and a half could be a half a page or several pages.
Mm-hmm.
And Anita got to a 68%. Nice. And Anita said, congratulations, Sarah. And Anita said, see you, Carmen. Okay, well, I have now read the first chapter of 6 different books. This includes the ones from the previous sprint.
Nice.
And I think this is going to be the home stretch. No more sprints.
Okay.
So, but I will give you the ranking in the order in which I'm interested in reading.
Oh, okay.
There was only one has flown across the room. And that's the one that I got disgusted with like halfway through the synopsis.
That's
the rest
pretty
of
good.
these, yeah. Pretty good so far. And I've read a chapter of each of these. So it's not like it's just based on okay. So I decided that Love Beyond Reason is the front runner. Maybe I should do this in reverse order. Should I do it in reverse order?
Yes, do it in reverse order. That's always fun.
Okay, well, spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Okay, right at this time, I am least interested in reading Summer Storms by Stephanie St. Clair. Just because he is like, they're off, he almost runs her down because she wandered across the road to pick some raspberries or something, and he almost ran her down, and then they yell at one another a bit, and clearly this leads to love. So, not terribly interested in that dynamic at this time in my life. Because if that's true, then I'm in love with the mail carrier, and I'm not. Okay, A Loving Arrangement by Diana Blaine. I would say I am exponentially more interested in this book right now than this one. So the fact that this is last, this is definitely last. This one, I kind of shuffled it around because a couple of these have similar themes. So I didn't want to have them back to back. This is the one where she works for the trial attorney. She almost had an affair with a dude because he swore he was getting a divorce. And then she ran away, and she's just like being a secretary, and he's the one he wants to have a fake relationship with her, like to basically, I guess, so that his new client, who was the guy she almost had the affair with, won't be bothering her. So. And he looks like an 80s pro wrestler. So, okay, Affair of Risk by Jane Castle, rather. I almost said Jane Ann Prince. Not for this publisher. And this is the one that's the gambling.
In the 75 ways to wear a dress.
The 75 ways dress, yes. And so she shows up. The reason she's at his casino, which we're assured is like not the tacky kind with neon lights, but the classy kind, like in Monte Carlo, which, I mean, that's just window dressing, literally. Okay, so she goes there to drop off a check for a friend of hers who owes him a lot of money in gambling debts. He owns the casino. And so she shows up with a check and she just wants a receipt and get the heck out of there. And he's like, oh, but you have to have dinner with me. And he kind of implies that he won't give her a receipt if she doesn't have dinner with him. And also, her friend was supposed to have paid him off in full like a month ago. So it's kind of like he's like willing to let it slide that she can pay off some of it now and some of it later on behalf of her friend if she has dinner with him. And of course, it turns out that he wants to have dinner in his hotel room, in his apartment at the top of the hotel, but it will be catered by the restaurant chef. So that's the 75 ways dress, though.
Mm-hmm.
The duck is going to be served 2 ways. The dress is going to be served, well, anyway.
Probably one.
Huh?
Probably only one way for the dress. Let's be realistic.
Yes, it's a binary condition. Either it's on or it's off.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and Spellbound by Jane Castle. Oh, I do believe in this book, we have a title drop for this book.
Ooh.
Where she meets the guy, their eyes meet, and she's spellbound. But this is the one that's actually called Spellbound. And this is, what was this one? Oh, this is the one where, okay, they actually knew each other. He's 7 years older than she is. Okay, so at least he's not old enough to be her dad. And when she was 13 and he was 20, their families were friends. She had a crush on him. And she like told him that she was going to marry him. And this is, she laid out her logical reasons for doing that. And he was like, I'm never getting married. Of course, he's 20. She's 13. And she's later thinking, oh, well, when I was following him around having a crush, he was way more understanding than, most people would be. But he didn't try to take advantage of her or anything like that. So anyway, he's the one who shows up. She needs a guy. And she calls. His dad owed her dad like $30,000, which that was a lot of money back then, and you could buy like 2 or 3 fairly nice houses for that amount of money. And she finds his paperwork about the debt. So she calls his dad's company and is like, this is what I need somebody to come around. And basically, she's like, she's going to forgive the $30,000 debt because it's really old. It was never collected. So she's not even, it's possible that she might not have a legal claim to that money anyway. But she doesn't really want the money. She just wants a favor. And she just wants a guy who's reasonably presentable. And she says it's to help her get a diamond. And he's like, oh, you want me to pretend to be your boyfriend to make your actual boyfriend jealous so that he'll propose to you and you'll get a diamond. Right. That's what he thinks is happening. And she's like, no, actually, it's this guy she's dating. And he's a rich guy. And he thinks that like his mark of class and distinction is when he's ready to dump a girl, he gives her a diamond necklace. That's the diamond she wants. She wants him to break up with her.
Oh, okay.
And she actually wants to go with somebody from this family because she knows they have an estate with a lot of security. So I guess the guy she's trying to break up with is kind of a jerk. Anyway, this guy shows up and she's not who she's expecting. And he's actually kind of scruffy and she assumes he's a hippie and like, whatchamacallit, a burnout or something. I'm guessing he was just like on a vacation or something and she'll find that out later. He's also a lot shorter than she was expecting. She's a fairly tall person. And the first thing she says to him, I think is the first line of the book. Yeah, the first line of the book is dialogue. You were supposed to be much taller. And his response is, I know the height isn't exactly as specified, but we're out of the 6'3" bodybuilder variety this season. Perhaps if you'd gotten your specifications in before last Christmas, we could have.
That's hilarious.
And she cuts him off. She's, oh, for heaven's sake, come in. Anyway, so that's Jane Castle, So it's bantery. So is the other one, Fair of Risk. Okay, and then Deceptive Love by Anna and Reiser is the one where she had to keep quitting jobs because guys kept trying to sleep with her.
I hate it when that happens.
She was a hot secretary, and now she wants to be a dowdy secretary. But the stalker from the past is like trying to get her to be with him, and so her boss is trying to intervene because anyway, the reason that this other one, A Loving Arrangement, got put so far to the bottom was that they're just kind of similar. They have these women who are actually secretly hot, trying to be dowdy. As you do.
You know.
So again, as you saw before, I chose Love Beyond Reason as the one I'm probably going to read first because it is nuts on toast. This is the one where we had a very short first chapter. It was only like 14 pages. And like there's a birth, there's a death, there's an abusive marriage. Like 3 people are dead. One of
the whole book is basically the first chapter.
Yeah. It's like we have the racist mother-in-law. We have 3 people dead, one of whom actually deserved it. And, so yeah.
It's throwing the whole kitchen sink at you.
Right?
Yes. It's like, I know, like I said, I do want to read this one. Probably not today. Well, today I want to finish my Christmas book because it's only going to be the 25th for another 8 hours or so where I live.
Mm-hmm.
7 hours and 40 minutes. And also, there's so much going on in this one that I was a little stressed. Out.
Yeah.
But okay, so do we want to take bets as to how many of these I will actually read before next week?
Oh, before next week? Mm-hmm. I'm going to say 2 of the 6.
I'll say 3.
Okay. If anybody wants to make bets, side bets amongst yourselves, if somebody wants to make odds, keeping in mind that I do have some other things to read. I want to finish Jill Shalvis. I did finish Alchemize, which was my 1,000-page book. It was 1,030 pages. I finished it. I read it in about 3 days. So nice. I was gripped. I really liked it. So I have this buddy read, but that's like 5 chapters a day, and the chapters was probably around 50 pages a day, so 40, 50 pages a day. Then I want to finish this one. I have to read Anne of Ingleside by Lucy Maud Montgomery. So, and I have some other things I want to read. So I would say I will probably read at least 1 for sure, possibly 2. Not sure about 3. That would be half of them. It kind of just depends. I'm a mood reader, so.
And that's what I'm thinking too. Plus the fact that how many, maybe the first chapter sounds okay, but maybe you're going to get like 2 or 3 chapters and you go, and chuck it across the room.
It will go sailing.
Right? Sailing.
Jill says, Sock, I think where you're a fast reader, I'm thinking 4 books. Okay, well, like I said, you guys bet amongst yourselves because I probably shouldn't know who's betting what because then it will be a conflict of interest. You'll come back and you'll say, oh, somebody said you would read exactly 3 3/4 of books. And okay, that pays $20. And you'll be like, who is SM? Oh, Sock Marionette. Yeah, she made that happen.
Fixed.
So, what do you have coming up, Lisa?
Nothing right now. Next week, I am hoping to film like a March wrap up type video since we are somehow at the end of March.
Right?
Yeah, I know.
I don't know where that went. And then so I did make a TBR too for March Madness. So I kind of want to go through the books I was able to finish for that as well.
Awesome.
So
are you going to do another live stream?
I don't know yet. It was so random. I was just like, I'm bored and
I want to talk to people.
Well, yeah. I know. I just kind of woke up and it was like, oh, that's happening. Mm-hmm. I got there. I was like, I saw it. I woke up. I checked my Discord. I saw it. And I went. And it was like, you're like 10 minutes to the end of the sprint. And then at the end of the sprint, you were like, that's the last sprint. And I'm like, oh, okay. You snooze, you lose. Literally in this case. Okay. Wyoming says 4. Okay. Sarah, what do you got coming up?
Tomorrow, I did not get a 2 on Tuesday out this week. It just didn't happen. Yesterday was just too busy. But tomorrow I have an announcement video for something coming up in April that Elizabeth and I are doing together. If you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you know what it is. It's April. Elizabeth likes alliterations.
Yeah, I think I know what this is.
Amish in April.
I was about to say, well, I don't want to give any spoilers, but I'm guessing there won't be any buttons.
No, there will not be any buttons. There'll be a lot of ankle though. Wrists and ankles will be the big to do. And then Friday, probably a Friday reads. But that's really about it.
And
How about you?
I will be hopefully I don't know if I'll finish the Christmas in March vlog today because I'm so very, very tired.
Mhm.
I may have to finish it tomorrow, but it should go up. I'm hoping to get it up like tomorrow afternoon, one way or the other. And Friday will be Flip Through Friday because I've been doing the Griffin and Sabine books. Those are the ones with like little letters and stuff in them. And I have the third one. I was so intrigued after the last one. I was like, I got to read the third one now. Because I last read them like 20, 30 years ago. So when they first came out, basically. And so that's going to be Flip Through Friday. And then that's what I have specifically planned between now and next Wednesday. I'm not sure what else will get done because I might feel like doing a vlog or something like that. Of course, next Wednesday will be midweek motivation, and I will let you know how I got along with these. Anita says she agrees 4 books. And Anita says, is there another live tonight?
Yes. Thank you, Anita. I don't know how, because I don't do them very often. This is brand new. Tiffany and I, it'll be on my channel, are co-hosting. It's not going to be any reading sprints, but we're going to be discussing books 6 through 10 of the Babysitters Club.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if anybody's doing sprints. So
yeah, I don't know if anybody's doing sprints.
But Babysitters Club.
Yep.
I'd attend, except I went to the dentist. And like I said, I might not even finish my vlog, even though this is not going to take me too long to read this book, which I'm very much enjoying, by the way. But if you want to see what it's about and stuff, that's what the vlog is for.
Mm-hmm.
What time, Anita wants
7 p.m. Eastern Standard.
On your channel, right?
Yes, ma'am.
That would be our reading category romance.
Yes, yes. Tonight, reading Babysitters Club.
Or discussing.
Discussing Babysitters Club, correct.
I mean, that's a category.
Right?
Not a romance necessarily, but...
Correct.
Okay, well, thank you very much for joining me today. Oh, Lisa, are you going to be back at work next week, or are you going
to... Yeah, I'm back at work next week.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you'll be able to join us in the comments.
Yes.
Yeah, I probably will. I'll see me around.
Oh, and
I just pop around.
Anita says, thanks for the sprints and have a good day, everyone. See you soon. You'll see some of us sooner than others.
Yeah.
7 p.m. Eastern. That's only in like 2.5 hours. Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much for joining me today, everyone, and thank you for watching back later if that's what you're doing. Thanks for the sprint. Thanks, Doc, for the sprint, sis Jill. You're welcome. Thank you for coming. And like I said, if you're watching back later, thank you for doing that. And I will see you next week at 2 p.m. Eastern for more midweek motivation.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.